Ladies and gentlemen, today we're doing Generation Gap.
And what movie are we talking about?
Captain America 3. Winter Soldier.
That's number 2.
Winter Battle.
Civil War.
Civil War. Civil War.
Yep, welcome back to Generation Gap. Today, we're talking about Captain America Civil War, the first movie of Avengers Phase...
3?
The first movie of Avengers Phase 3. So, we just finished watching it. The rest of these movies, we're going to do one at a time. So, what do you think of the movie, bud?
Good.
It gets a thumbs up from you?
And an F.
Well, that's you get thumbs up or thumbs down, and I give it a letter grade, remember?
Thumbs up.
Why does it get a thumbs up? What was good about it?
I like the fight where they fight each other.
Which fight?
The first one.
The one at the airport?
Mm-hmm. Black Panther.
Yeah, you get to see Black Panther for the first time. Was he a cool character?
Yeah.
Why was he cool?
Because he's black.
Yeah, he's black. His outfit looks good.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you like?
What
are you wearing?
Spider-Man.
Who else is in the movie?
Spider-Man.
Do you like Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Can you say why?
Spin webs around Ant-Man. Spider-Man shooted a spider web at an Iron Man to stop him from killing people.
Spider-Man did not fight Iron Man.
No.
He fought Captain America and Bucky and Falcon.
No. He shot a web at him from the start.
Oh, to stop when he was talking at his house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Iron Man said he was going to tell his aunt. So, you liked Spider-Man? Is there anything in the movie that you didn't like?
There's nothing.
There wasn't too much talking?
Nope.
It didn't get boring?
Yep.
Yeah. You seem to like the movie a lot. I remember at the very beginning of the movie, you said this is a cool fight to start the movie off with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of talking. You got a little bit bored, but it wasn't too bad, huh?
And while the movie was on, I was jumping off the couch on the beanbag.
Yes, you were. The fights get Elliot excited, and he jumps around, especially when he's wearing his superhero costumes. So you give it a thumbs up. What do I give this movie? No, I don't think the movie gets an S. I think the movie...
Tell a thumbs up.
I think the movie gets a B.
B?
A B. It's pretty good, but it could be a lot better. You kept asking me the same question over and over again the whole movie. Do you remember what that question was?
Why are they fighting each other?
I can't even count how many times you asked me that question. And the problem is, I don't have a good answer. And I think that's this movie's biggest problem. There is no real good reason why everyone is fighting each other. They tried to set up the Sokovia Accords things and get people to have different opinions on that. And that was set up well, but it wasn't a good enough reason for them to start fighting each other. I liked the disagreements. I thought it was logical. It made sense. Basically up to the point when they start fighting, then it kind of loses all of the realism that it's trying to set up. I do like this movie. And the fight scenes are really well executed. They're very entertaining. The plot is actually pretty good. The biggest flaw, yet again, which is going to become a recurring theme with almost all of these Marvel movies that come up that we've yet to talk about, is that there aren't any consequences. I would have liked to see a stronger reason for the Avengers to break ranks and to fight amongst each other. It's called Civil War. It wasn't really a war. It was more of a squabble. But the fighting was cool, but I wish that there was a better motive behind it than simply something that could have been solved with a conversation. That is one of my biggest pet peeves in movies. If the entire conflict of the movie hinges on people not talking like regular people talk, it's really hard for me. It really bothers me when the entire movie could be solved with the main characters talking to each other. So I have a pretty big problem with the movie. Like when the heroes first start fighting, it feels extremely childish. Where are you going, bud? It feels extremely childish, and there aren't any consequences. The only thing that happens is that War Machine hurts his legs and can't walk, and that problem is solved by the end of the movie because Iron Man magics some science legs for him. We don't need to see that. That's not what this video is about. Okay. Also, the people who fought with Captain America get put in prison, and that problem is also solved by the end of the movie. Captain America breaks them all out, and there weren't any consequences. And I could have easily made the movie instantly better with just a simple change. Obviously, I would have liked to see a better motive to have them start fighting each other. But that is not a simple fix. It would have been hard to get them to turn on each other. So I have a better fix, and it's much easier. Let them start the fight for a bad reason. Let them be childish and make them suffer because of it. War Machine should have died in this movie. And it was Vision who shot him accidentally, trying to take out the Falcon. And that would have made the movie incredible. It would have exposed them for being childish. They could have solved the problem by talking, and they chose not to. And because of that, someone died. And it wasn't even the rebels' fault. You know, it was someone on Tony's team who took down War Machine. That would have made this movie amazing, and there would have been consequences, and the stakes would have been so much more interesting. It would have fixed most of the movie, in my opinion, because after that, the ending of this movie, I think, is fantastic. I think it's really, the twist with Zemo is really great, that he doesn't want to release the other Winter Soldiers. He wanted to destroy them, and all he wanted to do was to get Captain America and Iron Man to fight with and Winter Soldier. It isn't until the last 15 minutes of the movie that I feel like there are actual stakes and there is an actual reason for them to be fighting, because Tony Stark finds out that Bucky killed his parents. And from then on, the movie it's phenomenal. It's wonderfully executed. And I just wish that there was more thought behind the whole thing. And I don't think it's the director's fault. I don't think it's the scriptwriter's fault. I think the script is actually pretty solid, with one minor thing that I'll mention after this point. But I think it's largely due to studio interference. I think Disney wasn't willing to have there be consequences, because that's a problem that they have with almost every single one of their movies. So, that was it. Elliot, you liked it. Oh, I will say, just a minor nitpick about the screenwriting. They should have made it more obvious that Zemo had resources, that he's a baron, right? Because the first time watching it, especially for people who don't know the comics and don't know that Zemo is filthy rich, it doesn't make any sense that he'd be capable of doing any of the things that he does in the movie. He's just this random guy whose family died in Sokovia, and all of a sudden he has psychological profiles on all of the superheroes and like infinite resources to take him down. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you know that he comes from wealth and that he's a baron. I wish that was a little more clear, but that's just a little nitpick. So I give the movie a B, but it easily could have been an S. So it's a little disappointing. So what's the final grade for the movie, Elliot?
Don't forget to hit.
Well, what's the final grade? It gets a B plus because you gave it a thumbs up.
B plus.
Okay.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
All right. How do you think this movie compares to the other Marvel movies that you've seen? Is it as good as Iron Man 3?
As good as Iron Man.
This is the first one that's as good as it? Okay, which one's better, Iron Man 3 or Civil War?
Both.
No, you gotta pick one. Will this one finally beat Iron Man 3? That's your favorite one, right?
Iron Man 3, 20, and Captain
Civil War?
America Civil War, 19.
19, so it doesn't beat Iron Man 3. It's the second best movie in the MCU, according to Elliot. Well, that's it. So, say it again. Don't forget to what?
Like and subscribe. subscribe.
And we'll see you next time
On Generation Gap.
What are we going to be watching?
Generation Gap.
The next Marvel movie. I actually don't know what it is. What's the next Marvel movie? The next movie we're going to watch is Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I don't even think you've heard of Doctor Strange. He's going to be new for Elliot. I've already seen it. So, you excited?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time on Doctor Strange. Okay? Bye!
Bye!
I will say one more note that I would have changed. At the very end of the movie, when Hawkeye is put in jail, and Iron Man comes to talk to them, and he talks to Clint, and he has a great line where he says, it's something along the lines of, why didn't you think about the future of your family, Clint, before you chose the wrong side? You have a wife and kids, now you're in jail. And Clint responds with some snarky line, and it was a really dumb line. I personally would have changed it to, my family's future is the reason why I chose sides. Tony, I think that would have been really powerful because, the entire theme of the movie was, the balance between government control and personal liberty. I think that would have made the whole scene a whole lot better. Also, one more nitpick. I really liked the performances by, all of the ensemble, but it was played like there weren't consequences, right? There was too many jokes. And it would have been fine if there had been consequences, and then they had to think about it. Oh, we were just playing at this, but now something bad has happened. I really like the moment where Wanda tells Clint that he's pulling his punches when he's fighting Black Widow. It's fantastic because it was true. Like they were just most of the characters were just joking with each other, and they weren't actually fighting. It was like a play fight, and it would have been wonderful if that ended with a real consequence. It didn't make sense that Ant-Man was there. It was cool what he did in the fight, but the entire arc of the Ant-Man movie and his character was that I'm done with crime, right? I want to get past this illegal stuff so that I can finally be with my daughter. And then he immediately throws that out the window in this movie when, he jumps. He says, how high when they say jump. And I thought it was a little out of character for him when the entire last movie he was fighting to be with his family, and now he's like, oh, well, if it's illegal, what's the difference? I've never been on the right side of the law. I thought that was a little silly. Maybe he didn't know what the consequences would be, but he should have thought about it a little bit more. Also, I have so many nitpicks. While I really liked that Spider-Man is in the movie, he didn't need to be. And it bothered me that the entire promotional campaign for this movie was the Russo brothers bragging about how they made a deal with Sony. They said, we told Disney that this movie would not work without Spider-Man being involved. And it was good because it made Sony do a deal with Marvel so that Spider-Man could be in the movies, and I think that that's a good thing. I think he adds a lot to the MCU. While it led to something good, it was not true. The movie would have been exactly the same had Spider-Man not been in it at all. Nothing would have changed. So it was it wasn't a little, it was 100% misleading that they promoted this movie saying it's impossible for the story to work without Spider-Man. I love that Spider-Man's in it, but don't lie. It's dumb. Good movie. Could have been better. Those are my thoughts. Bye.